Holy shit. Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. Alright guys, today's episode of Bullet Points, we're going to dive into the spiciest campaign ad for a Republican out of Arizona that I've ever seen. If you haven't seen this video yet, you're going to see it pretty soon, after this video probably. Everything's going to be linked in the description box below, but this speaks to something much broader than just the imagery represented. Now, before I dive into that, a really important announcement. There is a scam going around acting as if it's me or my channel to give you guys some kind of gift card deal or some sort of shotgun or ammo or something of that nature. That is not me. I have nothing to do with that. I have not and will not be doing anything like that. So if you are reached out, please protect yourself. That is not me. Do not fall for it. Now, the second thing that I want to say is me, Jared, and Anthony were on the podcast for Chris Salcedo, the Salcedo Storm. It's linked in the description box below. And we dove in all together for about 30 to 40 minutes on an epic podcast of gun rights. Make sure you check it out. It's in the description box below, along with the video that I'm about to show you and the campaign for which it's associated with. Now, the video today is sponsored by Acre Gold. Let's get into it, and I cannot wait to show you this ad. This is gonna blow your mind. Now, today's sponsor is Acre Gold. In today's economic environment, inflation is actively diminishing the value of our dollar and our savings. One way to fight inflation is investing in gold, and Acre Gold has a program to make gold affordable in order to preserve your savings against future inflation. Check out the link below to find out more, and thank you so much to Acre Gold for making this video possible. Alright, so now here's my official disclaimer. This is not my video. This is something that I'm covering because it applies to Second Amendment, it applies to politics, and it's something we need to talk about. I am merely commenting on what's going on. With that disclaimer out of the way, let me know what you guys think of this in the comments field below. Hit that subscribe bell if you think it's worth it, and let's do it.
Democrats like to say that no one needs an AR-15 for self-defense. That no one could possibly need all 30 rounds. But when this rifle is the only thing standing between your family and a dozen angry Democrats in Klan hoods, you just might need that semi-automatic and all 30 rounds.
Okay, don't look at me. I'm just here for the violins. But the reason that this is really turning some heads is a few different reasons. That's kind of what I want to break down. Obviously, that's a very attention-getting ad. There's not a lot of people that you're going to be like, nah, I'm in middle ground on that one. You're either going to be way for or way against. That's what we call spicy. However, there's some very important trends that it's stacking on across the electorate that we've seen in the last 2 to 4 years. Now, keep in mind, obviously, there is an extreme racial component to this ad. It's based in historical fact. But the big thing here is when you start to go out of an ad like this and you go after it and you start to draw attention to it, anybody who's against this ad would say, this is terrible, this is racist, this is the worst thing ever. Well, anyone listening goes, well, if it's so terrible and so bad, why did he put it out? You start looking up history and research, particularly in the South, and you'll discover that the main tool of intimidation and one of the things that helped the Ku Klux Klan get power was restricting the rights of an entire people group in the South. Gun control has roots completely in racism and subjugating an entire group of people. Now, that's a very painful thing to look at. No one wants to look at that, but it doesn't mean it didn't happen. Now, that's the historical context. Now go to modern day. You are seeing more guns be bought by minorities than any other group than any time in history. We had 22 million guns purchased from 2020 through 2021. A large percentage were first-time gun buyers. A large of that percentage was minorities and women, all traditionally groups who have not been in the first-time gun buyer bucket or categories. We hit this, and we've been following this consistently, and this is another sign that stacks right into that. You are seeing an entire group of people realize that the promises of gun control politicians are falling flat. They're not being protected by the state, and they're embracing their Second Amendment right, which is their right as Americans to do so. You're starting to see ads like this on the Republican side, like this one in Arizona, because it stacks on something that people are no longer considered afraid to address because it's historically accurate. Now, the imagery is insanely high. I mean, obviously that is very inflammatory for a lot of people. But the fact that it stacks on all the new gun buyers, all the first-time gun buyers, the minorities and women who jumped in more so than they ever have in the past, you're starting to see a trend where the Maine population in general is turning against the Democratic narrative of we'll take care of you. You don't need that Second Amendment right because we've got you. That's what I saw from that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Send this out. Make sure you subscribe if it's worth it, and I will see you tonight at the 9 p.m. segment. I'm Braden. See you later.